quiet outskirts of a forgotten town, a grand hotel stood still, its archways crumbling, its lights forever flickering. This was Raven Inn, a place of faded beauty and unsettling secrets. Among the haunted whispers that echoed through its walls, one room held them all. Room 613, a room no guest ever stayed in for long, a room where horrors came to life at 313. In the dead of night. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight's adventure, a spooky old hotel at the edge of the world, or at least this sad little town, Raven Inn, where luxury checked out and left creepy wallpaper behind. Now, here's the fun part. The infamous Room 613. Haunted, they say. People claim cold spots, whispers, shadows, and every single story ends the same way, with code 313. So naturally, I had to see it for myself. Ghost? Myth? Let's find out. As Eve set foot into room 613, she felt a quiet she couldn't explain. No hum of cars, no distant chatter. Just silence. The air was heavy, and though the room appeared unremarkable, there was something she couldn't shake. Something alive. Something watching. Eve's first night began with subtle signs. The air turned frigid, chilling her down to her bones. A bulb flickered above her camera setup. Now and then, faint whispers echoed through the walls. And at 313, it all became undeniable. Slow knocking filled the room, each knock deliberate, as though coming from within the closet. Then she saw it. In the crooked mirror above the dresser, standing behind her, was a figure. A man. Hollow eyes, thin lips, whispering words she couldn't hear, couldn't understand. Frozen, Eve turned, but nothing was there. That was only the beginning. Determined to prove she wasn't imagining the hauntings, Eve dove into the hotel's past. Late-night searches revealed the story of Emile Laroche, the bellhop who disappeared mysteriously in the 1920s. Rooms would grow cold, guests whispered of crying sounds and shadows, and then unexplained figures began appearing in mirrors. Emile was last seen entering room 613, slamming the door shut and never coming out. The room was sealed soon after, but financial troubles eventually forced the hotel to reopen it, just decades later. And now Eve had unknowingly stepped into its cursed walls. The more she investigated, the more obsessed she became. Even in daylight, room 613 didn't leave her mind. Its horrors surfaced in her dreams, and its shadows followed her wherever she went. Guests told her to leave, to run while she still had the chance. But Eve couldn't. She wouldn't. This would be her last chance to prove the ghost stories real. Eve returned to room 613 one final time. This time she wouldn't just document its secrets, she would live stream herself sleeping through its horrors. Cameras on, the clock ticking. Eve prepared for the inevitable. And then 313 came again. Footsteps echoed above her bed as though someone were walking across the ceiling. The wallpaper began peeling, crawling downward as whispers rose into screams. Then her bed frame shook as if something was desperately trying to break free beneath it. Frozen in terror, Eve's mirror came alive, showing her reflection turning, smiling eerily, and walking calmly toward the closet door. It wasn't her. It couldn't be her. And in the deafening stillness of the room, the figure appeared again. The bellhop leaned in close, his hollow eyes staring into hers, his words rasping softly into her ear. You stayed too long. Eve's live stream ended that night. Her audience thought it was another stunt. The next morning, police entered room 613 to find it empty. Her phone lay in the center of the room, its footage recovered. But what it documented brought no answers, only fear. The video showed Eve interacting with her double, smiling, calm, walking out of the room as if it were never her. No voice of explanation, no trace of where she'd gone. Room 613 was bolted shut again, but guests whispered of the faint knocking that echoed from the other side of the door. A knocking that only came at 3:13 a.m. Knock, knock.